Yo, it's Guido coming at you with the Tactics Talk, guys. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning in this episode of World of Tanks. And it is me and Pilgrim from Clan GFLC and our IS-22s. Serene Coast. What are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about breaking the heavy brawl. We're going to talk about breaking. How do you do that? I think it's kind of a lost art, actually. Now, it helps to be in a platoon. So we'll talk about that as platoon kind of tactics, because Pilgrim and I will be talking this whole time. This is a great example as far as a map goes and a position, because there's almost always a heavy brawl out here on the peninsula. You can see that we got a 703-2 and a Lurva showing up. We have a E75 TS, and then me, Pilgrim, and it looks like another Lurva is coming back. And then we got a whole rogues gallery back there of TDs looking for their piece of the action. So what typically happens is heavies will go to these spots and they'll kind of peek and poke and do a little bit, but they're really hoping that the enemy pushes and that the TDs behind them does the work. But how do you break this without relying on your TDs, or kind of assess and look at it and go, yeah, I think we have a chance to do this? So let's talk about that as we go. I'm going to push up here and I'm looking for those early initial shots, and the low makes a mistake trying to cross right here. He takes some shots, takes a hit, and then I say, holy cow, he's nice and exposed. Let's just shoot him. Should have probably gone for the sprocket, but I just wanted to go center mass to get that shot. We'll stink another one in. And he lives, unfortunately, with 142 hit points, but that's all he's got left. So Pilgrim and I will go ahead and come up here, and we'll start talking. He says, all right, I got this side. I said, yep, got this side. Let's see what happens. Now, if you're going to break a heavy camp like this, and it's not a camp necessarily, but a heavy brawling area like this, if you're trying to break it, you don't want to just YOLO in, because you can see that multiple of them are showing up. We're discussing that. We got a T32, we got the 703-2, we got another 703-2, and for the moment, other than the E75, which got a little beat up and is backing off right now, it's just he and I holding this until the Lurva and this other 703 gets up. So there's no reason to go, and jump in there right now, okay? So yes, it is going to be a bit of a more stagnant idea right at the moment. So you're going to want to try to keep yourself hold down and sneak in shots like this. The reason I was able to go out there, look at him, he's not even looking at me. He's paying attention to something way back there. So I'm going to take that opportunity to come in here, hold down, and just sneak a shot right there into his hole. And just, he's not looking. I'll get one more, and then I'll run back, yipe, 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 and try to hide back in here. The enemy does have some TD positions back there you do have to be cognizant of and watch for. I've noticed that this Lurva is dead, so that's a bit of advantage. There's no crossfire now coming from him, but I don't right now want to push in because I do have a T32 behind me right here. And once I go around this lump, these guys have shots on me, and my helpers back here can't do anything. So I will eventually, but for the moment, I just want to see what's going to happen here. So we'll just kind of watch this a bit. And here comes the low. So now we've got some backup. The Lurva goes that way, and I decide, you know what? All right, we're pushing him. And I tell Pilgrim I'm going in. I eat a shot from the T32, get another shot from that guy. But now they've got to fight us back in here, and we've got 3 or 4 tanks running up. I'm going to go ahead and try to track him. Didn't work. He dies to the E75, who, guess what? Took advantage of the opportunity to come up and over and get a shot on this guy because he was busy with me. So Pilgrim pushes this guy. This guy's busy with me. That means all these guys back here have shots. Unfortunately, the Lurva didn't just push in. I wish he had. He should have just driven right around this corner, because then he could have got hold down here against the T32 or helped me gun down this other 703, which we'll get to eventually. So I take a shot. I use this guy as cover. The other thing I know about this position is it also has a lump of rock between me and the enemy TDs way back there. So we can push in here relatively safely, minus the Arty or any other heavies coming up behind us. But as you count noses, look at that, not much going on. And oh, by the way, there is a 4502 back there, which I'm really betting these 2 double barrels would have loved to have had right there. They would have loved to have him right there. And that is why, folks, you follow up and you get close. You don't be the TS5 or the 58 mutts. Granted, the Scorpion and the RHM are probably doing what they need to be doing right now, but those other 2 goobers, wrong idea. And had they been up here, this would have ended even faster. So I'm going to come up here. I do expose myself a bit to his shot, and he eats 220 of my hit points right there. So I'm going to wait for a moment and kind of reload. At this point in the game then, now that we've started to break this flank, it's not quite completely broken. We got a T32 and a 4202 to deal with. When you, however, start to win and look at this, you've got to immediately right now look at the mini-map and say, okay, are we good everywhere else? Did we lose over in the West, and do I need to go back? Nope. Looks like it's sorted right now. We have a huge advantage, 6-2. The West side is not collapsed. There's nobody driving on our cap. They're not coming hey diddle diddle up the middle. In fact, we have a VTU kind of watching that. Good to go. As a matter of fact, we also have these clowns in the back, the TS5 and the Mutts, so they, in theory, would be able to react to something going towards the cap. However, be careful about trusting people who are going to redline to do anything intelligent. All right, just be careful about that. However, when I assessed this and we were talking about it between Pilgrim and I, went, all right, looks good. Let's keep going. Let's eat up these two. Take 2 more guns out of the game. They're not going to last long. So I'll just come in here. It's always interesting to me how I'm always the first guy. You know what I mean? Nope. Nobody else wants to do it. But it's a pixel tank game. Just drive your pixels forward and shoot things. You know, it's not that hard. It really isn't. That's going to be my new mantra. It's not that hard. Drive your pixels forward and click the left mouse button and shoot them. So we got Pilgrim taking a shot into that guy, and we'll get a nice little reload going as I move forward. That is not to say you just drive in front. I have relatively low hit points. I don't really want to let this 4202 kill me. But I know I've got guys coming back, and I know that Pilgrim's on even less hit points. So how about I get in here and get him busy? You look at him, he's looking right at me. He's like, oh my gosh, that guy's close. Let me shoot into the rock. And I say, thank you. Please shoot into the rock. That's fantastic. And then the low comes in. Then the RHM does a sneak attack. Good on him. I was just mocking him earlier. But you know what? I've got another video that may have just come out that you maybe had seen where I had a glass cannon and I followed up. And he's doing exactly the right thing right now. I have no problem with him being back there on that initial engagement and seeing if he can't drop some hurt on guys. Especially if they showed up with more tanks and started to push us. That'd be fantastic. But once we won, you saw he got on his horse. What in the actual stuff is the Scorpion doing? And the TS5, what is the plan? I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And it's not easy, all right? I like to say it is. I just told you it was easy. You press W. Sometimes you kind of get enamored of what you're doing and you forget to look at the mini-map and assess the situation. But this one really does seem pretty easy to me. The danger's all gone, fellas. And I guess maybe they have shots on the RHM or that's what they're looking for. But holy cow, just imagine how fast this would be collapsing if they'd have actually moved in. So that's the double barrel benefit right there, gunning down near deads, even with only a 300 alpha, which is on the IS-22. You're talking anybody with 1 to 600 hit points might as well be a one-shot for this thing. Might as well be a one-shot. So we'll come over here, dive down into the water. Pilgrim Eye still trucking. And it's really all over but the shouting, man. It's all, I mean, I've got 3,736. I'm in the lead, in the push towards here. Our cap's not in danger, so there's no problem pushing to their cap. He and I are discussing we're going to do a little crossfire. Nobody went to the middle, which I don't understand. To be quite honest, I know why Pilgrim went that way because we discussed it. Why one of those two didn't break off, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you, but me, I'm thinking that's juicy. I'm going to come around here in behind these guys, and this is going to be some delicious hit points because I can see that they've got 2 guys hiding back on the cap right here. So I'm really hoping that these guys aren't that aggressive. And they don't appear to be because the 703 just gets hit and he's scared of whatever's shooting at him. So I see, all right, Rev, here we go. Double tap. Booyah. We'll drop 640 on that guy. Kind of glad he didn't turn around and shoot me with that 390 alpha. And then I'll just come in here and I don't even care if this guy shoots me. Whatever. Boom. And he low rolls. Oh, actually, he's got the smaller guns. I noted that in my first look through. It's 192 and 172 on his alpha, so he's actually got the stock gun on the poor IS-22, so he's kind of bumming out right there. Is it 85 millimeters? I think it is. And we end up killing 4,665, 78 assists, 1 kill. I'll show you the thing. Pilgrim had 1,700 or so. He's got a kill in there. And really a pretty easy day. A pretty easy day. A lot of things went right, but we read it correctly and we kept on moving. And at the end of the day, breaking the couple things we talked about. Use your W, breaking heavy brawl areas, talking together, knowing when it's time to push in. I didn't delve into that too much. I did discuss it a bit. But when I saw the opportunity, I pushed in there. That single move at the right time is one of the most important high-level skills in this game. And it's easy to get wrong. I do it all the time. You push in a little too early or nobody's really supporting you or you didn't see there was another 2 tanks there. So you do need to assess the situation as best you can. But that one move of pushing in and getting the enemy to start turning and fighting more than one direction is huge in winning flanks. So practice it, man. Just try it. It doesn't. You blow up, who cares? Go back and hit battle again. Just take all that and try to learn from it. All right, I hope you guys like what you saw. I hope you learned a little bit something here today. If you did, throw me a subscribe. If you're looking for other ways to support the channel, you'll find them down in the description. I always do it right. It's over there. And that is all I've got for today. We will see ya.